Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and so I kind of mentioned this for a second, but I did want to talk about it. Hunter, do you do mod meetings? Do you meet regularly with your mods?
There are regular mod meetings.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like phrase it that way.
I personally do not meet with my mods. No. What I do is
Mod meetings happen.
Mod meetings do happen. So there's a hierarchy within my moddom where we have all the mods, and then we have a mod manager who's like a super mod, and then above that is the stream manager, slash COO, which is now your boy who's in chat, and then there's me. I'm clueless at the top of that pyramid, like with my head above the clouds, and then there's like everything that's happening below that. When I initially, and this is tied into something we talked about toward the very beginning with the documentation. When I started streaming, before I started streaming, I crafted a really bad one, a document that was intended to identify and sort of really, no, I think identify just nails it. To identify what it is that I expected from the mods, what I thought the culture of the stream should be, and the rules. And I think where I really messed it up at the beginning, and this is like the from my experience pro tip, I was hyper specific about the rules. And I was like, in exactly this circumstance, do this, don't do this. In exactly this circumstance, make sure that you do that. And it was like a 20-page document that nobody would ever want to read. And then you'd have to, like, if something was happening in chat, you'd have to go reference the document while it's still happening in chat and go like, is this a bannable one? Okay, this one's just a purge one, not a timeout. And it was this whole mess. Over time, and in conjunction with the mods themselves, we collectively have reshaped that document, and that is something that's still a living document. So when there are mod meetings, there are things that sort of come down from me and trickle down into the mod meeting, and things that come from the mods that trickle up to me, and then like in between, we're sort of forging and reforging this documentation. I personally would love to and ought to be a more active part of the mod meetings themselves. It's something that I'm not currently, I haven't been doing for quite a while.
Yeah,
they happen.
I think
Check.
I think it is really important to have regular mod meetings, even if it's not weekly, even just once a month to touch base with your mods, because there's so much that happens, especially if you're streaming like every single day. If you have more nuanced rules like I do, it's so easy for things that happen where you want something done a certain way and your mods, like you want that to change, or the mods are confused about something. You know, there needs to be some clarification, or even just to like, honestly, it's like to get to know your mods and just be like, hey, like, how are you guys doing? Like, hey, you're humans helping me out. Like, I should talk to you. Like, it's really like mod meetings is something we've started in the past few months, and it's really helped to improve communication and make sure there's no confusion or even resentment getting built up between either side, where there's just, you know, things aren't being done a certain way, and then it just builds up because you guys don't actually spend the time to talk it out. Because after a stream, I don't know about you, Hunter, but I leave my computer the second I'm done my stream, and I go eat.
I'm done.
I go and lay down and like die for a few hours. So like I don't read mod chat after my stream, and that's usually when, you know, they're like, they want to clear things up. And then in the mornings, I'm getting up and doing things and doing errands, and then I start the stream, and all of a sudden I have not spent any time actually talking to the mods about important things.
The rest of my day is full of stuff, as is theirs, I'm sure, right?
Right. So setting aside a time at least once a month to actually be like, you know, sit down with the mods and talk is really, really, really healthy. And I also think it's just good for the mods themselves they're a team, right? Like, you want to make sure they get along and get to know each other. So it's honestly like, even if I'm not there for the meeting, sometimes they still know if they can make it, they should meet at this time. And it just helps to get them to just chat and hang out and even talk about, like, you know, how they feel about the stream and stuff like that, and just just get to know each other a little bit more.
And if a mod can't make it, if you record the mod stream, the mod meeting, if you record if somebody records the mod meeting, that's an ability to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe big notes, like this is there were 3 important things we touched on, something like that.
We do notes and we throw them on our Trello.
That's interesting. Yeah.
For every week, and that way if you miss a week, you just pop on the Trello, go to last Sunday's date, and boom, you got the notes right there for you. Which is super helpful, just because I don't expect half the time we end up just like Loco said, it's like about team building too. So half the time we end up just talking about what video games we're playing or what we're going to do that weekend or whatever. So, I don't want someone to necessarily sit through, 80 minutes where 70 of us is just talking crap. But the meeting notes are super helpful just to like bullet point those like 5 things. Like, yes, we clarified this rule. We are working on this, this, and this, and be prepared to do this. Just simple stuff like that I find very helpful.
Yeah, and just kind of to your point about the team building aspect, if you have that separate Discord channel where people can just kind of, meme away whenever.
Yes, Johnny.
Between meetings, just because, if you have it once a week and you want to do something, during the rest of the day, they'll talk to each other and all that stuff.
Yeah. We actually have a question from Clubhouse who asks, do you guys do mod nights where you guys just hang out with your mods and play games or just hang out? I will say that my mods have usually drunken nights where I come back and the Discord has like channels changed and there's pictures in mod chat that cannot be unseen.
What have you done?
Sometimes I'll pop in there to hang out and they're giving Robin alcohol, which I don't even know if he's old enough to drink, so I don't know what's happening. They're drunk in Sea of Thieves. So the mods have actually like taken it upon themselves to just like hang out and get drunk together. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Wow. I'm so into that.
I mean, yeah, that's basically it. We hang out. It's not like a dictated like, oh, hey, we're doing this, or Loco's like, hey guys, it's a mod night tonight.
You will play games.
You will like it.
It'll just be like, Carly pinging me in chat and just being like, getting voice chat. And then all of a sudden there's like 8 of us in there and we're all drinking and it's a good time. I think stuff like that, I would never say force that on any team. Like it's a very unnatural thing to try and force.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can have a team that hangs out like that, it solves so many problems within the mod. Just by being close friends with a lot of these people, you get to the point where you're like, look, we may disagree about that ban right there, but I know your heart's in the right place. We can ask Loco about it on Sunday, but I'm not going to get into an argument because it's not worth it. And we're good friends. Like, I think it really does make a huge difference for the mod and like covering for people too. Like you're more willing to jump in and help out a friend if they're your friend, just when there's, shortage of mods or someone has to take off for a family emergency or something, you're more likely to jump in and be like, hey, you know what? I got your back because we're tight like that. So not something you can really force, but if it does happen, and if you as a streamer want to start like a mod night, like mods generally love hanging out with their streamer. It's the reason they found their channel in the first place. So if you're up for that, go for it, because I'm almost sure that 99% of mods who mod for a streamer they love would love to play games. So great team building, and that team building carries over to actual functionality on the mod